Okay, this one will focus on printing and exporting because while having a digital notebook is extremely useful for the person who's studying or keeping track of the information, sometimes we have to turn stuff in. So that usually comes from either printing or exporting. So remember, we've talked about sections and section groups, pages and page groups, and pages and page groups are contained within sections. Sections are contained within section groups. And all of those things are contained within notebooks. So if we go to OneNote, and remember, I have been playing around a lot with this page group of 1-1, where I have several pages on 1-1. And then I also have a bunch of dummy pages inside my chapter 1 section. Move this down here. Hopefully you can still see me if you need it, if you need that. And then each of our sections is currently in the section group for pre-calculus. And then each of these, I have some individual sections and I have 2 section groups. Those are all inside the notebook School 2020-2021. All right, so if I go to pre-calculus and let's say I have completed homework, I've done this assignment and I am ready to print it out. I can tell from looking here that I'm currently on an infinite size sheet of paper. So let's just see what happens when we try to print that. I haven't filled very much of the space. So I clicked on File, Print, and then if I do Print Preview, so this is right now what it would look like. I can see from down at the bottom that I have page 1 and both arrows are grayed out. So everything that I've created on this page is going to fit on my page 1. I can choose to have the footer turn on or not, and those are coming from the section title. You can force it to a different size page if you're printing something different, but by default, it's going to go to 8.5 by 11. You could switch it to landscape if that was more appropriate for what you've been working on. And you can say that you either want to print the current page or the page group or the entire section. So notice when I flip to the entire section and then I scroll through here, now, all those different templates that I put in there, because they're all contained in my chapter 1 section, are all showing up. Here we go. I got to one that was too big, and notice that it's telling me here, hey, this page is split into 2 printed pages. So if you're going to use any of either the templates or the default that is like, full size forever, you do want to make sure that you look at your print preview and see how it splits, because if it splits in a way that you don't like, then you may want to change things. So right now I have scale content to paper width. That was on by default for me. If I don't have that on, then notice my page 1 breaks up into 4 pages. So let's look at the difference. When I scale it to my content width, see these graphs right here? And now look at the change. Okay, so this is more of a true size of the size that I wrote it. And so this will print out true size, but it breaks up that page into 4 pages. So it's just something to be aware of, and you'll kind of figure out your own comfort with what works well for that. Okay, so if I switch this back to page group, now what I'm printing from my page group is everything over here from 1-1 because I have grouped them as a page group. So I might need to print all of those things, but maybe I only need to print my homework. My homework might be the only thing that I actually need to print. So I could say current page. Now I just have that current page. Now, let's say that my homework was 2 pages long, okay? So let's say that I have 1-1 homework continued. And we'll go ahead and bring that up. Okay, so now if I wanted to print my first page of homework and my second page of homework, notice my second page of homework was automatically 8.5 by 11, and it automatically had my name on it. Again, because this wouldn't say student name, it would have my actual name. And then I know that my name is on the page of every single thing that I do, which is a nice thing, especially when you're doing it digitally. You might not think to put your name on the page. You should, because it's really important, but you can also protect yourself and make it happen automatically. Okay, so if I didn't want the entire page group, but I also didn't want one page, I just wanted certain pages, then I can hold down Control and select whichever ones I want. So they don't have to all be in a row. If they are in a row, I could use Shift and just click the first one and then like the last one, and I'll get everything in between. That's just a Windows utility. Anytime you're working with Windows and you have a list, you can use Shift to select the first thing and the last thing in the list, or Control to individually choose things. So if I select both of those homework pages and go back to print preview, then notice now it says selected pages. That wasn't an option before because I only had one page selected. So now that I have selected pages chosen, then we've got 2 pages that will show up, okay? And if I go to print, then this being one of the CPS take-home computers, there is not a physical printer installed. However, print to PDF is. And so if I use print to PDF and I print this, and I'll go ahead and put this on my desktop for now, just to show you guys. So if I have 1-1 homework and maybe I put my name on it, my teacher might have certain rules about file names. And we say save. All right, if I go look at this 1-1 homework that I just created, now I have a PDF that looks just like notebook paper as though I had done it in pencil. Like, obviously I chose to write in blue pen, but this creates a PDF that could be documented, or excuse me, uploaded through Schoology. So a digital document, but it could also be physically printed. If I needed to physically print something out to turn it in, I can do that very easily from OneNote as well. But instead of me only having the sheet of paper where I wrote it on, I have a digital record of it as well. So I can go back and make comments. If my teacher gives me certain feedback, I might add that to my notes for next time. Also, if my teacher gives me certain, like if I get the physical thing back, that I've turned in, I can take a photo of it and add it to my digital notebook so that I have my graded work. If I turn it in via Schoology and my teacher grades it digitally, I can download their edited version and I can put that in my notebook as well. So that was printing. I did want to show you exporting real quick. If we go to File, Export, we can export a page, a section, or an entire notebook. So if we go to Page, and then let's say I want to export as a PDF, then notice that I've got some options here. Selected pages is one of my options. So I only have one page selected at the moment, but I could have selected several before I went there. So this is another way for you to export. If you are creating, maybe one of the sections in here is going to be your portfolio of work, where you know that at the end of a chapter or a semester, or even at the end of an entire course, you're supposed to submit a portfolio of work. Then maybe my 1-1 homework, I want to live in chapter 1, but maybe I want to make a copy of this page. And so if I say move or copy, and I want to copy this into my portfolio, and I say copy. Then now, even though my homework is still in 1-1, which is the notebook that I'm using every day as I'm learning, then I've also put a copy of it out here in my portfolio. So at the end of the quarter or the semester of the year, or whenever you're supposed to have this collection of work that is being reviewed, you can say export, and that would be a section. And I probably want to export it as a PDF, but maybe a web page. I haven't experimented with that very much. And I would want to export my portfolio, which at this point would have more than just one homework assignment. But so again, you can export pages, sections, or an entire notebook. So you could export a PDF of your entire 2020, 2021 school notebook if you wanted to. It would be a huge PDF by the time you're done. But you absolutely can create those resources in a way that other people can view them, or that you can archive them. You could export a PDF of your whole notebook once a week and upload it to your Google account just as backup. It would be backup in a PDF way, but that's where this OneNote portion comes in as well. If you were to export your entire notebook as a OneNote package and then upload that to your Google Drive, that would be backed up. If you have a Microsoft login, which I'm not sure if CPS students are going to get one, but some students might have their own through their families, you can use the account feature, and well, it might take me a moment to find that. I'm not going to waste that time on this video. It prompts you when you first log in, or when you first open OneNote to log into your account. I am not logged into any account right now, but if you were to log into a Microsoft account, everything would be backed up automatically. But using the export function here is a way for you to back things up manually. All right, I think that is it. Let me double check. Printing, pages, page groups, sections, notebooks, and exporting. Yes, okay, I got everything I wanted to get there. I think that's it. Thanks.